Let's be honest, everyone has that urge to start up a new survival world and make some fun projects and really just go all out, but today I'm doing something that I hardly ever do and I definitely haven't really gone into on the channel. I'm doing a Let's Play series, but and more specifically, I'm doing a hardcore Minecraft Let's Play series, and the first part of this series is obviously creating, naming the world, and letting it load up right before your eyes. Now, I'm super excited. It's one of my first ones, so, cut me some slack. But upon spawning in, you can see I have a pretty horrible spawn. Now, some of you might be like, well, you got the trees and you got plenty of dirt. Yeah, that's fine and all, but starting off in a snowy biome is definitely one of the most difficult ways to start off. The first couple things you need when starting a hardcore world or any survival world is obviously gathering wood, making tools, finding food, and making shelter. So we're able to gather wood right away, which is definitely a plus. I'm using this spruce tree to make my very first set of tools. But upon looking around, we're just surrounded by snowy biome and ice. So I guess the only thing I can do for right now is to create a first set of tools. The first set of tools I'm making is obviously a wooden pickaxe and then gathering some stone in order to make a stone pickaxe because that's the best way to go. I know some people make wooden tools, which I've never understood. I think that's one of the most silly things you can do in the game. But hey, to each his own. We've already completed our first task and made the advancement Stone Age. Not a bad way to start off. We do see some copper, but with a wooden pickaxe, it's not much we can do about that. So, after gathering up some cobblestone, we are able to make our first set of stone tools. Now, this is going to be crucial for, fighting off mobs, gathering more materials easily, and even starting a farm. So we're just gathering just enough cobblestone in order to make ourselves a nice set of tools and have some left over. And then once we have all of that, we can go and make ourselves some tools. So, as you can see, we're going to start by, I'm thinking, making a sword first. A sword is probably the most useful thing, just for defending ourselves in this hardcore world. And then probably an axe and a pickaxe is going to be right behind it. So now we have a stone sword, a stone axe, and a stone pickaxe. We've also completed that next achievement of getting an upgrade. And then using our handy dandy new stone axe, I'm going to gather some more wood just in case I need it down the line. So we're also going to grab these saplings, because I do like building with spruce wood, and I don't know if I'm going to continue to stay in this biome. Let's see what's across this mountain. So we're going to travel a little bit and just see what we can find, and it's more snow. So unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to try and find a way out of this snow biome, and try and work our way into I'm hoping for either a plains or even just a regular like oak tree biome or birch tree biome is fine by me. Just something where we can get a better start off, where there's actually mobs spawning. As you can see here, there's no animals, no real source of food. We'd have to go fishing, and that's a bad start. Oh, but we do get one thing out of this. We got some pumpkins. I know pumpkins is kind of useless this early in the game, but I have a feeling we might need them down the line. So we're going to pick up some pumpkins and continue looking for a better place to start our home. Now, after crossing this first peak, I found something that's going to be our first source of food, a very fast and very hard to catch white rabbit. Now, I know some of you don't like, often the rabbits because they're so cute, but that's the first mob we've seen and the first source of food I've been able to get. Although it's not like a crazy amount of food, it'll definitely come in handy in the long run. And unfortunately, we still are traveling to try and get through the snow biome. And honestly, I can't even see an end to this tunnel. It's just become way too much. Traveling further and further into this frozen wasteland, I did finally stumble upon our first source of good luck. It is an abandoned shipwreck. Took a quick picture of it because it's definitely, I was so excited. I was finally like, oh, we have a chance. Because in these shipwrecks you can find food, materials, sometimes even better gear. And when we pop open this chest, we will see exactly the amount of great things we will find. Oh my god. So the only thing we found in this chest was a buried treasure map, a couple of feathers, and a couple pieces of paper, although we did steal the chest. Unfortunately, this horrible start is not getting much better, and now we have to keep fighting our way out of this frozen wasteland. Unfortunately, no other chests spawned in this shipwreck, so now we have to keep making our way through it. We've already traveled at least 20 minutes that I've cut out for you guys, because I was hoping that we'd find it sooner, but we haven't found it sooner. So now I'm just going to make a boat and try and use the boat to get as quickly and as far away from these stupid ice peaks as I possibly can. And I'll save you some time now. It doesn't end soon. But before we go, I am going to quickly gather some fish as a source of food, because that rabbit is not going to last long in any sense. So hopefully these fish will help me be able to go on and get a little further away from this darn ice. Now, I'm going to pretty much sum up the rest of the footage here for you. Pretty much, I found another shipwreck, which upon exploring, I was able to find and get some more materials. But while I was here, I took a quick break to make some more food and cook up that fish I caught earlier. Probably about 10 minutes of travel time so far, but in this chest we found some carrots and our first pair of armor, a enchanted pair of Blast Protection 3 leather pants. Now, any little bit helps, so we're going to quickly equip those. We look very fancy with our pants before heading out and venturing through more ice water biomes. And after venturing through those ice water biomes, we venture through more ice water biomes. The first night on our first day, we are fighting our way through more ice water biomes. And then on the first piece of land I found, it was more snowy spruce biomes, where I'm now fighting for my life against the skeleton before heading out and fighting against more mobs on another ice biome. It was just ice and ice and ice, more ice on top of that, getting back in the boat before getting back out of the boat to go through more ice, more snow, and maybe, if I was lucky, more ice. As you can see here, it was pretty much the same. I'm just clipping things together so you get the rough idea of what I was finding. But eventually, while crossing through this snowy spruce biome, I did stumble across something that would help significantly after reaching our second day. So we're now on day 2, and we find this on the second day. It is a igloo. If you've never found an igloo before, it's not extremely helpful, but one of the best things it has, a bed. Now, sometimes they have this little rumor where these carpets will come up and there's a ladder underneath and you can go downstairs. I have yet to find one, but I always check just in case. We took a quick pit stop here in order to gather the bed, cook up some more food for myself, and get ready to head back out looking for more things to find. Now, as you can see here, we got a couple of cows that we killed for meat. Our first ever mobs that weren't rabbits or polar bears. Honestly, it doesn't sound like much, but every little bit helps. I've been surviving off of carrots and rabbit up until this point, which I never thought I would be a problem until now. So again, we're going to take a quick break in order to cook up our brand new food. Very delicious, by the way. First taste of real meat in this new world, and it was absolutely delicious. So as we cook this up, we're going to continue on our nice long journey to find ourselves anything but snow. Anything but snow would be great at this point. But this igloo was definitely a huge save. The bed alone will help us get through nights much easier. Day 2 is already starting off with a bang. Now, after leaving and traveling, we did find a small break of the snow in this spruce biome, where some berries spawn and we were able to collect them, which is my backup plan in case I run out of steak. But the berries, or the sweet berry bushes, are definitely a good find because they are quick, easy to get, and easy to plant and remake more. So it's definitely a good, sustainable food source until we find something else. So super happy with that. It was this almost little weird patch where you had ice on one side and ice on the other side. But after continuing to explore more, the night was falling on day 2. Which is, I know it's quickly going by these days, but most of these days have just been traveling, trying to figure out, where to go from here. And upon scaling this snowy mountain on the end of day 2, as I reached the top, I thought I saw something that I would never see again in a Minecraft world. Green. green land, green trees, and to celebrate my victory, I slept, ending day 2 very quickly and starting a bright and sunny morning on day 3 in the first patch of grass I found that wasn't surrounded by snow. I cannot tell you exactly how happy I was, but if words fail me, just know that I have nothing else better to do than to sit here and enjoy the view for probably another 30 minutes. But I was so excited, I wanted to take a quick look around. We are in a green mountain biome with lots of oak trees, but as I was climbing this mountain, I see what looks like another igloo, but upon closer inspection, it's actually what looks like a snowy village, but only one villager. It almost looks like he's has his own private little domicile over here. So in order to protect him, I decided to scare away the nosy neighbors. My first ever mob fight right here, by the way. I was pretty proud of this. Handling this creeper like a pro, and got the advancement Monster Hunter. As you can see here, he's got a little crop station and a little house. Oh, it actually looks like there's more houses down towards the right. So this is actually great. This is our first ever sighting of a village, and it's almost weird. It's like the snowy village kind of formed into this plains, mountains biome. Inside the first building is more beds and a chest. Upon exploring further, it looks like we have another building over here. And as we go into it, we can kind of see... Oh, and the rest of the village, yep, you can see here, you have the snowy village that kind of works its way up the mountain, so it's definitely a weird spawn village, but we're going to try and build our house somewhere near here. Let's see, in this chest we have bread. We also got some coal and our first ever potatoes, which I cannot be happier about. Definitely a huge score. I also love how these houses turn out. It's actually, I like how the winter house looks, to be honest. Let's check this building over here. This looks like a butcher's home. And upon further inspection, it looks like the butcher had done its job and killed its pig, which I'm kind of sad about, not gonna lie. But it's okay, so we have to carefully make our way down here. This would be a terrible way to end after 30 minutes of travel, dying as soon as we find something good. But upon further inspection of the village, we found our first blacksmithing hall, where we got our first grindstone. And I do love how these buildings look. And in the blacksmith chest, whoa, baby, we have iron. So we have our first ever iron, or resource loot. So we got 11 iron ingots now. We also got some apples, some more bread, an iron helmet, which we look fabulous in, and a saddle. So that's our first ever good chest that we found along this journey. I picked up the other grindstone because I just like collecting stuff at this point, and then made our way down to see what else the village had in store. Now, once I find more of these villagers, I definitely want to store them away in order to prevent them from being attacked or killed while we set up our first starter base. Let's see, in this house, nothing. Looks like they have a little well here, an iron golem, definitely useful. This looks like the cleric's building, so I'm going to quickly block him off, because he could be useful later on, using some of these blocks I have from my previous adventure. And let's see, what else do I have? So let's ring this bell here to make sure all these villagers go into their homes, and let's try and block them off in order to prevent them from being killed. So lucky me, I had all 3 of these guys really wanted to hang out in this house there, a little house party, I guess. So we blocked them in so there would be no future problems with mobs getting to them, and then when I need them, they'll be safe and sound. And while they're tucked away in their little house, I can explore the rest of the village. It looks like we have another farm here. And once we go in this other blacksmithing hall, oh, and we got full armor. So unfortunately, the leather pants aren't going to make it. I'm going to put on the iron pants. I know. Got some obsidian, got the ice bucket challenge achievement completed, another saddle, and some more food, which is definitely super helpful getting us set up. This is honestly a much better start. Had I spawned next to this village, I would have been way better off. Could have saved myself a whole 3 days of traveling, but that's okay. Day 3 is looking great, and now we just have a one problem left, finding a place to start setting up. So I wanted to kind of venture out. I want to go a little far away from the village, but not too far. That way it's easy to transport the villagers once I start getting set up. And I decided to kind of make a little lake house. By this lake here, I think it would be a great idea, and it'll kind of, being on the water will kind of help with mobs not being able to get to me. So we're going to gather some more wood, get ourselves set up, and start making our house. And after clearing some trees, getting my chest set up for the first time, and gathering some materials, I started making this sort of boardwalk slash fisherman's hut on the water, which will be able to keep the mobs out a little bit while keeping me in a nice cozy area on the water. Now, I'm definitely going with something more stylish than functionality, I guess. We're not starting off with a dirt hut, which is definitely a pro, especially when playing in a hardcore world. So I'm okay with that. I guess gathering some materials definitely helps, and a bed is super helpful during this process. So all we're doing here is kind of placing these pillars in order to make like a boardwalk sort of effect. And then I'll have my house kind of off to the side here, and I'm able to run up and grab, more wood, get some farms going, whatever I need, and then quickly run back to my house that's nice and set off on the water. As you can see here, I'm using planks, so that way we kind of get a more of a refined look to this, and also the planks also help with mob spawning, or the slabs, I should say, definitely help with the mob spawning. So again, super helpful. I'm just really filling in this sort of boardwalk look here. And then I went and had to gather more materials, and then once I had more logs, I was able to build my house even further. So this is pretty much just me making tools, building my house, and getting set up for, a nice first night. Day 3 is definitely cranking. Getting a lot of building done on day 3, using these logs here as kind of a frame member here. Kind of just squaring off where I want my house to end up, where I want it to be, what I want it to look like. I know this part is a little boring, but that's okay. So, after gathering more materials, you can kind of see what my house is starting to shape up to look like if we look down there, but I'm going to quickly grab this one last tree. After grabbing this tree, we can kind of... Alright, that should be enough. Alright, now let's head down here. As you can see, we have the frame of my house all set up. And as we were framing out the house, the night started to come after us again. So day 3 is now day 3 night. And we have our bed placed over here. So we're going to finish up day 3, starting day 4 with a nice sunny and bright day. So, day 3 ended, day 4 has begun. The house looks great so far. We just need a roof now. All the walls are done. We could probably stand to put in some windows, a door, but we have the basic shape, so now we can kind of tuck ourselves in here at night if there's an emergency. The boardwalk is almost done, just gotta fill it up with some more planks, but this is a good start for day 4. And using this boardwalk, we are kind of able to get back and forth from our home. And if we take a step back to admire our handy-dandy work, you can kind of see what I'm going for. Unfortunately, the house isn't finished, but we've cleared out a nice area so we can set up some farms in the future, get some mobs. I took a quick screenshot because I am proud of this one. And it's nice to see some land that isn't snow. So even after a difficult start, day 4 is looking so much better, so bright and sunny, and now we can actually get started on our survival hardcore world. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for all the crazy stuff that happens in episode 2. Thanks for watching. Take care.